Hello, my name's Tina Bell and I'm the Head of Education for Pure Nails. Today we're going to be doing a natural overlay with EasiBuild. So we're going to start by pushing back the cuticle. So you would do this on all 5 fingers. So I'm going to be using our eradicator. After you've pushed the cuticle back, you're going to turn and use your blade side. And you need to make sure you're removing all of the dead cells from the nail plate. We need to remove this, otherwise the gel won't adhere to the natural nail. Use your plush brush to remove the dust. And then we're going to go on with the next finger. So same, push back the cuticle. And then again, making sure that you remove all of this from the nail plate so that we get a perfect finish on the system. We're going to use our 180 file now just to shape the free edge and to etch over the nail plate. We're going to shape the free edge. And then we're going to use the same side, the same 180 side, and we're going to etch over the nail plate. This is to make sure that we're removing all of the oils from the nail plate. So just gently etch, you don't need to put any pressure on. Use the rounded side of your file so that you don't cut the client. So you're going to remove the dust. And then we're going to get our prep and scrub. And we're going to give those a little squirt. And again, use your plush brush to go over, and then you should get a nice chalky appearance on the nail plate, which is what we've got there. We can see that we need to do some trimming on the cuticle, so we're going to do that now with our cuticle snippers. So just lift back what you need to trim and then gently trim off. Now you don't remove anything that is attached or that has blood supply, as you don't want to give your client an injury. So we're going to go in now with our base coat. So this is our Halo base coat. I'm going to apply to the nail. Free edge first, bounce up to the cuticle, and then remember to cap in. Once we've done that, we're going to pop it in the lamp for 30 seconds. So at this point, we're going to have a look at some of the colours in the Patisserie Collection. So looking at our model's skin tone and looking at the colours that we have here, I would say that these 3 are going to be the nicest ones. So that we have French Fancy, we have Profiterole, and Pantone. We're going to go with French Fancy. I think that'll be the nicest to match Lily's skin tone. And we're going to go in and apply an overlay. We're going to go in now and do a slick layer. So your slick layer is your guide. So you need to make sure that this is precise. So don't touch the cuticle or the side walls. Make sure you keep it away from those, but close up to as you can. So we're going to go down the side walls, up to the cuticle, capping that free edge, and then we're not going to cure. We're going to go in now with the builder layer. So we're going to place the product, and then we're going to bounce it. So we're going to get the product off here. Once the product starts to come off, we're going to push it up to the cuticle, and then we're going to slowly start to bring it down. So using a horseshoe method, you're going to drag that product down. Once you get to the free edge, you're going to then go to your small brush, and you're going to use this just for getting the product where you want it, pulling it down the side walls, and just making sure that you've got a perfect application. So checking the apex, and then we're going to get Lily to pop that in. And I'm just going to clean my brush while we're waiting, so just using some prep and scrub, give it a good clean. So you can just put this in for 10 seconds at this point, because we're just flash curing. We can do a full cure at the end. So then you can move on to the second nail. So same application. So keeping it nice and neat. Let the product come off the brush. You're going to bounce it up to the cuticle but not on the cuticle. Drag the product down using a horseshoe method to the free edge, and then using your brush to place the product where you need it to be, down the side walls. Perfect, and then she can pop it in there for a full 30 seconds. And we're going to be using some prep and scrub and a wipe to remove the tacky layer. So we're going to use prep and scrub and a wipe just to remove that. Now if your client's nail was longer, you could go back in and do another layer if you felt necessary, but as this clients are really short, we don't need to at this point. So all we're going to do now is shape the nail, and we're going to buff in that cuticle area so that we don't get any lifting. So again, I'm going to use the 180 side. We're gently just going to buff this in. So we're just blending in the cuticle area and smoothing out the top. And again with this one. And then we're going to be using our Halo Elite file. So this is our buffer. We're going to be using this just to go over the nail. This is just going to etch out any of the deep scratches that we've put in with the file and just give it a smoother appearance. Okay, so once we've done that, again we're going to use our prep and scrub and go over with your brush. And once you've removed all of the dust, we can then go in again with our base coat. So at this point, if the client wanted to put colour on, after curing the base coat, you could go in with your colour, or if the client likes the base that you've just gave her, then you would just go in with the top coat. Okay, so once it's been in for the 30, we're then going to go in with our top coat. So I'm using the non-wipe top coat. This is just personal preference, and then you can pop those in the lamp for 30 seconds. So once that's cured, we're going to leave it a few seconds just to cool down. We're going to be using our citrus crush. If you apply the oil too early, it can take the shine off and make the nail look dull. We don't want that, we want to avoid that. So we're just going to give it a few seconds to cool, and then picking up a small amount and then just drop it onto the skin, and then just massage it in around the cuticle area, across the nail. And this is just going to condition and put some oils back into the nail and skin that we've taken out, and then you've finished with your overlay.